So someone asked me why, if I publish a lot of books, which I do, if I publish a lot of books, why don't I have a lot of money? Well, as I've said before, I'm not going to really aggressively market. And at the same time, I'd like other people to buy my books. That's why on occasion I will absolutely ask other people to buy my books. And I've tried over the years. Someone did buy one of my books recently. It was a collection of cards that I had made using PowerPoint. And it's a long story short. Maybe I could do a live demonstration of how you do that one time after I get my computer reset. What I mean by that is not by actually resetting the computer, but getting it set back up. And long story short, and people were going to say, oh, you're ugly, oh, what are those eyebrows, oh, what are... I anticipate all the hateful comments. I'm not surprised. Even over the years, I think back to some of the comments made within my family. For example, the chin that I have was frequently made fun of within the family. Well, once you find out where the chin came from, it's like, yeah, there was self-hatred there. And then, of course, the jokes about the eyebrows and whatever else. Point being, so I'm anticipating the hate comments and I'm anticipating everything else. But I'm just asking one more time if people could at least check out my books. And Michelle's probably not going to be amused if I try to turn the camera cam to help me get my books bought. So I'm waiting till Michelle leaves the room. But if nothing else, for the sake of Cam's little face, and for the sake of Reilly's little face, poor little Rise upstairs. Cam, you want to ask other people to buy Auntie Nicole's books? Cam's like, Cam, I wrote a book partially about you. Rye's jealous because I told Cam I wrote a book partly about... Oh boy, I gotta be careful. Let me see if yeah, I can't exactly flip the camera over right now. I gotta be careful because I don't want to zoom the camera over and then Reilly's staring at me like, you didn't write anything about me? Well, when Rai wanted to she's really staring at me. So I did actually write a book about Reilly. Actually I've written 2 books about Reilly, you could say. So I've written 2 books. I should rather say, Jesus, Cam's staring at Rai staring at Cam. Anyway, so point being, so you can see obviously I actually did write a book about you, Rai. I did. I wrote a book about you. And then I wrote a book, let's see, trying to explain that to Rai. So I wrote one book about Reilly and then an updated edition of it. And then the collection of cards that you can make with PowerPoint was about Reilly and Camille. And then where Ryan and Cam had their first real snow day together. And so the books that I write are not just inspired by my family history or based on my family history or whatever else. The books also include Ryan and Cam. And, well, some of the books include Ryan and Cam anyway. Or are inspired by Ryan, Cam, Rai. You can see she's getting... Wish I could flip the camera over, but the problem is if I do that, then it might show some private info, and I don't want to risk any of that. She's staring at me like, Mama, what are you doing? So, I mean, at least for Rye's sakes and for Cam's sakes, if no one else's sakes, then please check out some of my books. And to really drive the point home, I'll even, as I'm recording this video, I'll even put a still up of Reilly just to show you that she really was staring at me and she would probably want you to buy some of my books, and she would also wonder what the heck I'm talking about. Anyway, back to the original point though. So I really do not aggressively market my books. I'm not going to try to market my books. As I said, and I mentioned this before, unfortunately, because of my cerebral palsy and other stuff, I'm on SSI benefits, and I could easily, because I have advertised the books before, I could easily say, oh yeah, I've advertised this and this how much it's cost, and I could claim it as a business expense. I don't do that. I don't claim as a business expense, oh yeah, this is what I spent for advertising my self-published books. And the other books that I published, unfortunately, really don't get advertised at all. And, or let me put it this way, they don't get advertised for like any money or anything. And trying to think of what else. But my point being, so I'm never going to aggressively market, or I'm going to at least try not to aggressively market, and I don't want other people to force themselves to buy my books. Like, I don't want people like, oh, all right, I'll check it out, whatever. I really genuinely want an audience to be able to read what I write. And so hopefully that answers the question of, well, if you publish so many books, how come you don't have a lot of money? And some people are going to say, oh, this 7 minutes of this was, pathetic, whatever. Well, I mean, if I didn't give enough of an explanation, oh, you didn't give enough info. If I gave too much of an explanation, oh, you gave too much info. So it's like, for lack of a better term, as the saying goes, damned if I do, damned if I don't.